If whoever is giving you investment advice on buying properties for flip or for buy and hold, if they use these 3 words, do yourself a favor and run the other way. Hey everybody, Jared Jones, the Jones Group Real Estate in Central Florida. Finding myself in a bizarre situation. I did not think this year that we would be spending as much time on investment property, especially as the market has turned out like it has, but here we are. And as you have seen from past videos, we have been finding properties and flipping them from a starting place of around $80,000 to $100,000 gross profit in the mid 200 price point. And as I discuss the plans of these investors from all different parts of the world coming to buy in Central Florida, I'm noticing that they get a bunch of really odd random advice. So with that, I want to kind of share with you some of what I'm hearing and how to help you avoid pitfalls in your journey. And I give you this advice with a unique perspective. Right now, as you see this video, even if you wanted to come in and buy a property with me, I've got too many people in a line now, you'd actually have to go on an interest list. But so I'm giving you this from a perspective of not trying to win your business, but give it to you from a perspective of how to save yourself in a situation where you're buying from wherever you are in the marketplace. Check this out. So one of the things I've noticed as investors have come to me is, number one, they typically do not have a solid plan to find a deal worth falling in love with. Here's what I mean. Most people fall in love with the property, they don't fall in love with the transaction. And so when an investor comes in and starts to work with me, a lot of times they will start bringing up properties to my attention, and a lot of those properties are based on the reality of what they've been doing before they met me, which is they might be looking for trigger words like foreclosure, short sale, pre-foreclosure. And the point I make to the investor is, look, thanks for bringing the property. I would never sell you that property unless A, I was working on my own self-interest, or B, as an agent, if I were ignorant to the market realities. Because while that property is a foreclosure, it's a very bad place to plant the money. And the point I'm making is the house may be worth falling in love with, but the deal is more important. So when you actually approach to try and find the right property with the deal dynamics that would work for you, you have to have a professional or process for yourself to literally go fishing with dynamite. Okay, so I use the analogy fishing with dynamite from the perspective of when you're trying to get a deal, you're trying to fish, but you would rather go to the pond and throw the dynamite in and let the better fish float to the top, so you have your own choice versus actually dropping in bait and looking and waiting for some deal to kind of come towards you, but almost kind of reversing the process. Now, there's systematic ways to make sure you can find the better deal fast. Number one, you've got to zero in the market. Okay, most investors shop way too wide. When you actually have an area of the market that you're in, there are much better areas that are better stocked with deals and fish that you want to actually have, that are attractive, that will resell fast, that buyers will fight and kill each other to buy from you. And there's just ones that are dead spots that stink, that are terrible places to put your money. Many places are better than others. You have to have a wide approach. Use dynamite in the pond that you're fishing, but you have to be able to zero in where you are going to fish from. Many investors do not do this. They'll pick a market and they'll go on this side of town and that side of town. Agents will even do this. That is not a good way to work. There is a hierarchy of places to fish from, and you need to choose wisely, but you also need to have a very wide approach. Use dynamite. So falling in love with the deal means you have to have volumes of research. You can't just jump in and handpick one little market, one little house off to the side. You have to be very precise and specific to make sure you're in the hierarchy where you should be to look at really wise places to buy. Second point, with falling in love with the deal, good exit strategy. Listen, if you work with a professional or you're working with someone who's helping you find deals, and you look at the property and there's very little for you to value add, then that is probably not a good deal. okay? So what I mean is you want to make sure that there's opportunity that's been presented to you that creates an exit that is built on you actually changing the dynamics of the market. If you ever have a flip, you're like, wow, I'm gonna get a good one. This doesn't have a whole lot to do, and so that's what makes it really attractive. That's probably not an attractive deal. You're probably in love with the house because it doesn't look so bad, but in reality, there's not a much value add, which means you're probably paying too much in the first place.